好，欢迎收看今天的篮坛旋风专访Duncan Robinson， 我是今天的主持人梁瑜，在我旁边的是我们国际组的编译记者立龙。
大家好。
好，大家都知道哦，今天呢，今年的 NBA 赛季啊，热火队是打出惊奇。可是大家想到热火队的时候，可能就会先想到军巴了。但是篮球是团队运动嘛，如果没有 Duncan Robinson 的话，热火队很难走到冠军赛。所以我们今天欢迎 Duncan Robinson 来到我们当中。Welcome Duncan Robinson. Could you say Chinese?to our camera 说你好，我是阿舍哥。
你好，阿舍哥。Thank you for watching and thank you for having me.
哇，阿舍哥来台6天，所到之处人真的都非常多哦，尤其是在台北车站的时候，上千名的球迷挤爆台北车站的广场，大家可以亲睹 NBA 射手的美技，真的是球迷的一大福音。不过在台湾6天，21号到26号嘛，那这6天我们也想知道阿舍哥对台湾的印象到底是什么呢
？So Duncan, what are your impressions of Taiwan? Have you ever heard of any Taiwanese basketball player? And what impressed you the most from your first visit to Taiwan?
Well, I got to meet Oscar the other day at the shootout. I really enjoyed talking with him, and I know he's a big-time player around here, so enjoyed being on the court with him. My first impression is the city is beautiful. The landscape, the backdrop, the skyline, and then of course the mountains and just how green it is around. We had a chance to go down south and see more of like the countryside, and that was beautiful as well. So just the entire experience has been really special.
So what's impressed you the most?
I would say just how kind and friendly everyone is, and respectful as well. You know, we've been fortunate to, you know, when we've gone to the different events, there's been a lot of people there to support, but nobody is pushy or rude or obnoxious. Everybody is very like kind and respectful, and just very grateful to be there and to experience it. And in turn, it's made me very grateful just to interact with everybody and just share this experience.
好，刚刚Duncan提到分享在台湾这6天的旅程，相信这旅程对他来讲也是一个非常美好的回忆。好，我们回过头来，我们要来谈谈 NBA 咯，来分享，到底阿舍哥在 NBA 这5年的生涯里面有什么样让他觉得最 impressed、影响最深的 ？So it was reported that you thought strongly of agreeing to a summer league deal with the Lakers in 2018. Why will you choose the Heat instead?
It was just a better opportunity to go with the Heat. I had worked out for both the Heat and the Lakers prior to the NBA draft, and I wasn't selected in the draft. So I had the opportunity to maybe play summer league with either team, but the Heat just seemed like a better opportunity at the time, and it turned out to work out really well for me. So I have a lot of respect for the Lakers organization, of course. I've had many games and battles against them since, but I'm also very grateful for the Heat and all the opportunity that they offered me.
是对加入热火来说，真是一个非常好的机会，也为球迷带来非常深刻的印象。但是每个球员可能都会有跌落谷底、低潮的时候，我们也想知道他是如何从谷底反弹的。
So Duncan, you've been through ups and downs the past few seasons, but bounced back in this year's playoff. How do you handle pressure and get prepared?
Yeah, I think pressure and adversity is just part of the profession and the business. I mean, it's what comes with playing at such a high stage. And for me, I just try to stay level-headed and not get too caught up in the highs or the lows, but just remain even keel and try to enjoy the process and the experience as much as possible. So there have definitely been some challenges throughout the last couple of years, but I'm very grateful for them and the different experiences I've had, because I feel that I've learned a lot from them and I've grown a lot from them as well. And then to have had this last playoff run in many ways was a great kind of culmination of just the experience that I gathered throughout the last couple of years.
我们都知道，其实 NBA 最近几年逐渐改变了他的打法、他的模式嘛。从过去的身体对抗到现在是以3分球为主了。那大家知道吗？其实Duncan有一个非常厉害的记录，他就是 NBA 史上最快完成500颗3分球的纪录保持人。我们也很好奇他的训练菜单到底是什么呢？因此我们就希望他来谈谈他的训练菜单咯。So you are the record holder for the fastest completion of 500 three-pointers in the NBA history. What's your practice routine? Can you share?
My practice routine is, it changes throughout the year. I mean, in the off season, it looks a little bit different than what it is during the season, but I try to really take care of my body. So lift every day, and then shoot usually once or sometimes twice a day as well. So I try to get up a lot of shots, a lot of makes, and just really stay with the consistency and the routine of it, because I've come to learn that it's not necessarily one or two workouts that's going to make the difference, but if you can really stack as many workouts and days on top of each other, then you'll have something to show for it.
So what do you think? What is the role and importance of three-pointers in modern or future basketball?
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely seen the whole league change and kind of transform over the last 10 to 15 years. I think there are a couple guys that have really kind of pushed the envelope. I mean, Steph Curry really being one of them. They've shown the value of the three-point shot and what that can do to scoring and then also spacing on the floor. So I'm definitely a beneficiary of the times in the sense that this kind of new wave of basketball has really kind of stressed towards three-point shooting, and obviously that's a skill that I bring to the table. So I like the way that the game has gone, and I hope it continues to go that way because I'll certainly benefit from it.
Yes, 最近几年三分球，我们也可以看到 NBA 的这个打法的模式也有在逐年的这个改变哦。好，不过在Duncan的生涯当中，他2次参加过冠军赛，是不是也请他来谈谈参加冠军赛的历程？
So Duncan, you have played in 2020 and 23 NBA Finals. For you, which one is more difficult and why? And what inspires you the most from these contests?
I would say more difficult was my first one in 2020. There are a variety of reasons. One being the fact that we were in the bubble and it was a very challenging environment, being away from our friends and families and just feeling very isolated. It was also my first time really in the playoffs and making a playoff run, and there were a lot of firsts that came with that and kind of learning and growing through that experience. I mean, this most recent finals was definitely challenging as well, but I would say the 2021 definitely prepared me for this year as well. So I've taken away a lot from both experiences. Unfortunately, in both cases, we weren't able to get the job done, but the hope is that that experience will help us and myself moving forward, and that we can ultimately, secure a championship.
好，刚刚Duncan有提到2020年的总冠军赛让他印象相当深刻。不过我们想知道，在5年的 NBA 生涯里面，到底他遇过最强的对手到底是谁呢？ So throughout your 5 years career so far, who is the toughest player to play against?
I would say the toughest player will probably be LeBron, just because the experience that he has, and having gone against him in the finals in 2020, I definitely gained a new appreciation for just how talented of a player he is.
LeBron James 应该是所有的球员都会觉得蛮难打的一个对手哦。但是哪种客场是比较难打的呢？ Which opposing stadium is the hardest to play in?
Opposing stadium, I would say Madison Square Garden. It's a great atmosphere. It's an unbelievable place to play. The Knicks do a really good job of packing it in and having it be loud. So that's definitely a challenging place to play. It's also a really fun place to play as well.
是，刚刚讲到最难打的是 LeBron James， 那最崇拜的又会是哪一位呢？
So Duncan, who is your most admired NBA player?
My most admired NBA player would probably be Steph Curry. Just the way that he plays, first and foremost, just unselfish, but also just so free and aggressive. And then also the way he carries himself is very down to earth and seems like a great teammate. So I would say Steph Curry.
好，刚刚既然都讲到了 Steph Curry 了，那我们想要来让他看看其他的球员，也是 NBA 现在非常有名的球员，我们来玩一个小游戏。
So Duncan, we've got a game for you. And here are 5 NBA players, including active players and former players. And we'd like you to choose 2 of them to play 3-on-3 together.
Great player.
Either.
He's a great player.
Yes, great player. 再来。
那第二个呢，是我们大家都很熟悉的魔兽 Dwight Howard。
上一季在台湾篮坛创造了旋风的 Dwight Howard。
那第三个就是我们的好小子林书豪 Jeremy Lin。
Love it. Jalen, legend.
第四个呢是丹佛金块的明星中锋 Joker Nikola Jokic。
MVP.
Jokic, yes, MVP.
那最后一个就是Duncan在热火队的队友吉巴哥 Jimmy Butler。
Love it.
Love it.
All right. First, I would say Jimmy. Got to pick my teammate.
And why?
I mean, he's an amazing competitor. I've had the privilege of seeing it every single day. An amazing basketball player, but just whenever he's on your team, you always feel like you have a chance to win. So I would take Jimmy.
Yes.
And out of respect, I'm going to have to take Jokic as the second. We obviously just had a playoff series against him, and he's an incredible player. His ability to pass, create for others, be unselfish, and just control the game in different ways. So these are my two. I'm taking these two right here, Jokic and Jimmy.
最强3对3组合，好。But 我好奇 I'm pretty curious about why don't you choose Dwight Howard?
Dwight is obviously a Hall of Famer, amazing player. I've played against Dwight a bunch, and he's a great player. But right now, I would have to take Jokic over him. I'm definitely taking Jimmy, but for right now, I would take Jokic over Dwight.
那我们现在当然也会很期待啊，说 NBA 会有很多的明日之星嘛，尤其是今年的选秀大会有一个球员，哇，真的是万众瞩目。There are many promising young talents in the NBA draft this year, including the first overall pick, Victor Wembanyama. So, who do you think is the best?
I don't know that I would pick one person to be the best right now. I think, like you said, there's a lot of really talented players. I think the expectations on Victor are really, really high, and I think he has a chance to live up to them. But I mean, time will tell. That's the beautiful thing about this league is that the draft is just one night, and from there you have to really prove yourself every single night moving forward. So it's going to be a great challenge for those guys, and I'm excited to compete against them this year.
So Duncan, LeBron James' son Bronny was rushed to the hospital after suffering cardiac arrest during a basketball workout. What's your thoughts on this? Is the practice sometimes too intense?
Yeah, we saw the reports last night before we went to bed. First and foremost, I just want to, make sure that he's all right. It sounds like he's doing a little bit better, which is great. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's part of what comes with training at a high level. You hate to see that sort of thing happen, but the most important thing is his health, and we're all just hoping and praying that he'll be okay.
好，我昨天听到这个消息的时候，真的还蛮震撼的。我们也可以知道，运动员在训练上的强度其实也真的蛮强的。好，下一季的 NBA 是不是有一个新的赛制呢？
那我们大家知道，下一季 NBA 将首度举办季中锦标赛。那另外呢，近几年的明星赛呢，由于缺乏新度跟话题度，那收视率是越来越差。那么想知道 Duncan 对这两项赛事的看法。So Duncan, what's your thoughts on the upcoming in-season tournament? And also, the All-Star Game rating hits record low this year. How about USA Dream Team vs. World Dream Team?
For the in-season tournament, I think it's going to be a really cool way to mix it up during the season. For fans, I think it'll be an exciting new thing to engage with and be excited about. So in that sense, I'm excited to play in it. Should be a lot of fun. And as for the All-Star Game, I think that they've done a good job in recent years of trying to mix it up and be creative, having different formats, drafting players before the game, all that sort of stuff. So I think they'll continue to find ways to engage with fans and make it fun for everybody.
好，其实我们刚刚有提到哦，最近几年 NBA 的打法也越来越在改变嘛。那刚刚Duncan也有提到说，他最难打的对手是 LeBron James， 也是很多人的梦魇嘛。那可是呢，其实最近几年呢，NBA 所谓的抱团的风气可能就越来越盛了。我们想要来问问哦 ，many former NBA players criticize modern players for creating super teams. What's your take on this about super team?
I think that it's just kind of the way the league has gone, and I think that it's important to consider the context when you look back at modern players. I think that some of them may criticize, but I think a lot of them also understand the new dynamics and pressures that exist in the current NBA, and that's also what players have fought for, the flexibility to move places and play for different teams. So it's just a very different league than it was when a lot of these other guys were playing. So it's hard to really compare in that sense. But for me, I'm more just kind of focused on the team that I'm on and doing everything I can to help us win and compete. I think you saw with our group last year, we definitely don't have a super team in that sense, and we were still able to be really competitive and give us a chance to try to win a championship. We were, close, and hopefully this year, we can get over the hump.
好，我在访谈之中呢，还有提到说 Stephen Curry 嘛。那讲到 Stephen Curry， 我就会想到最近呢，虽然没有 NBA 赛季，但是大家会想到 Stephen Curry， 就会想到什么高尔夫球。打高尔夫球非常厉害。Duncan 是不是也有别的爱好，除了篮球之外？
So Duncan, besides basketball, what are your interests and hobbies? Have you ever thought of doing other jobs?
I have other interests for sure. Most of them are in the space of being active. I like to play other sports. I like to golf, play tennis, do yoga, Pilates, that sort of stuff. And other than that, just kind of hanging out with my friends and family, being around people that I'm close with. In terms of another profession, I've kind of dabbled in journalism a little bit. I did a podcast off the court, which I enjoyed doing, and that kind of potentially laid the groundwork for getting back into that in the future. So we'll see how it all plays out. But for now, hopefully I have a few more years built in of competing and playing basketball, and from there we'll see what happens.
好，最后也是最重要的。虽然说呢，我们上一季看了热火一路打进老八传奇，打到冠军赛，我们的记忆都还停留在非常精彩的时刻。最后呢，我们就想要来问 Duncan，Do you want to say something to Heat fans and Taiwanese fans?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to say to Heat fans, thank you for all the support and love. And we're excited for another year, another opportunity to continue to push this thing. Obviously, we've gotten close in the last couple of years, but we're excited to make another push here and make it happen. And thank you to all my fans in Taiwan as well. This has been an amazing welcome, and I've just felt so much love here, and I can't wait to come back.
好。可以听到呢，哇，这几天呢，在台湾阿舍哥所到之处哦，真的是非常的受欢迎。因为今天是最后一天嘛 ，It's your last day in Taiwan.
It is my last day in Taiwan.
真的非常
I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it.
对，我们也会很想念你的。不过呢，我们这次专访阿舍哥来台湾，很多人都会觉得说，阿舍哥他的就是阿舍干面的代言人嘛，大家也很想知道到底是什么样的情况下能够因缘际会代言到这个阿舍干面呢 ？So how did you become the spokesperson of 阿舍 dry noodles? What is the story behind?
Yeah, I just first really loved the noodles when I tried them, and I would eat them in college. And then as I became a professional, we just reached out to them and said, look, I love the noodles. At first, I just wanted to get some free noodles sent to me. I was in the bubble at the time, playing in the NBA playoffs, and they sent a bunch of noodles. And not only did I enjoy them, but I shared them with some of my teammates. And I kind of quickly became known as just like the noodle guy in the bubble. And from there, the relationship has just built and grown over time. And coming here to Taiwan has been something that's been in the works for 2 or 3 years now. So I'm so happy that I get to be here and experience this wonderful place. And it's just been a dream come true to be able to be here and just experience the culture.
So where did you buy the noodles first in America?
Sorry?
Where did you
Where
buy?
I was in school in Michigan, I just had them sent to me and tried them. At school I was staying in the dorms, and I didn't have the opportunity to maybe eat the best food. And that's when Asha came in clutch, because it's super easy to make. I'm not a very talented chef by any means, so it's super easy to make. It's super clean, and it's of course delicious. So it's been amazing to watch the relationship with them grow over time.
好，这让我想到哦，其实前几天在台北车站的时候，阿舍哥在用那个筷子非常的熟练，而且吃起来津津有味的样子，会让我很想要来尝尝看。最后，我们访谈要来跟他玩一个小游戏。现在呢，我们就要来考看是不是真的代言人喽。这里有几款面，我们要来让他选看它的面体，猜看面体。
So Duncan, we know that there are 9 types of noodles of Asha dry noodles, and here are 3 of them. We'd like you to tell us which are these.
That right there, that's the meteor beef. That's a favorite of mine personally. It's got the multi-textured noodle. Can really hold on to the flavor. So that's the meteor beef right here. This one, really good.
流心拌面，我们来试试看
哦，
是不是这一款？是是流心拌面。这流心拌面是什么口味的？我看一下，流心拌面，红烧牛肉风味。第2个是什么？
再是第2款。
这是你在台北车站煮的吗？
That's this right here,
station?
the Hakka noodle. Really, it's like a thicker noodle. Not in my top 3, but still really good.
好，刚刚说这个是 Hakka noodles， 那我们公布答案。
阿舍干面，对，就是这一款。这款是干拌吗？是用干拌来吃的吗？ 干汤2吃。最后一个
And the last
最
one.
后一个答案也呼之欲
Last
出
but
了
not。least, this is the Tainan noodle. Another great one, kind of a thinner noodle, still absolutely delicious.
最后一款呢，就是台南干面，看得出来就是台南
干面，答对了。
好，总共3款的干面。
These are the meteor is my favorite out of these 3, but they're all delicious.
This one?
The meteor, this one, meteor beef. Yeah, that one's the best.
最爱的4种口味。好，我们刚刚透过了游戏，也透过了访谈，我们不止了解到了 NBA 5年生涯Duncan的这些历程哦，我们也可以知道，哇，身为一个运动员，尤其是3分射手，要在 NBA 保有一席之地，真的是不太容易哦。非常谢谢 Duncan 这次来到我们 TVBS 新闻网来接受我们的专访，谢谢 Duncan， 也 hope you have a very happy journey in Taiwan. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.